Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back here on the bridge, and today, yes, we will be going over our recommendations of what items to get from the Lobi store for the 2024 event campaign. But before we do so, captains, do us a huge favor and hit that like button to help the overall channel out. But also, if you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing here to the YouTube bridge, where we're always on the lookout for like-minded captains to share our love, passion for Star Trek Online, but also things Star Trek. Now that said, here we go. Yes, captains, as we mentioned in the intro, this is going to be our recommendations for the Lobi items. Now, this is going to be one of two videos. The one video is going to be just concentrated on the ships, and then the others is just going to be this video here with all the other items. So we'll go show our recommendations, then at the end give our conclusions, of course sprinkling our ECs as we go along. So as you can see here, we are on Defera with my tune here because most of the items that we want to show you guys are on ground. So again, to access your Lobi items, all you got to do is have that in your inventory. Don't worry about the inventory, captains. We'll just focus on this. Double click on that and it'll open the Lobi store. So as you can see here, there's tabs here on the left broken down into ships and crew, space gear, ground gear, costumes, vanity pets, and devices. So again, the ships, we're going to make a separate video on its own because it's all about that. So this video particularly is just all the other tabs. So we're going to start here in the space gear section. So first up here, we will go with the genetic resequencer space trait, the Boimler effect. So we have this on all of our tunes and our builds. Why do we have it? Well, we'll show you here. Let me go under our traits. As you can see there, so as it's named after Boimler, who of course is a character, one of the main characters of Star Trek Lower Decks. But here it is. Chance for bridge officer abilities to reset all bridge officer abilities. So with the usage of anything used in space, it's going to give you a chance to help your cooldowns. Now, I've not have had to use any other cooldown method other than this. I find that it's actually working really well, especially when you have all your abilities on a spam bar or even just clicking through everything in concession. So we'll read a little bit more about it here. So space trait, of course only in space, provides a chance for using bridge officer abilities to recharge all other bridge officer ability recharge times up to their respective shared cooldown categories. The gears of any great machine suffer from friction, while ruthless precision is at times the best way. Often allowing a bit of slip and wiggle makes the whole structure more resilient. In the way, one should be careful not to police one's crew too closely. So again, 17.5% chance recover the recharge time of all other bridge officer abilities up to their shared category cooldowns. Slot it in your personal traits. Keep going, doing what you're doing, which is activating your space abilities all the time when you're in combat, and it will help reduce your cooldowns. Great trait. And again, you can buy this from the Lobi store. Pick it from the Lobi store because, of course, the event campaign gave us, forgot to mention this, my apologies, because you're getting 3 things for this year's 2024 in this event campaign. 6, of course, you get the premium starship, the 2 tier 6 ship coupons, and the Lobi items. Of course, 1,500 of that. Now, before we go on, we will recommend 100% wait for a sale in the Lobi store. 20% is pretty common. Be nice if they can go 25, but I knew years ago they did a 50% off, and we're still waiting. Will they do that again? We're not sure, but when it was 50%, we took advantage of that definitely and got some ships for a really good price on Lobi items. So there is that. Now we'll continue on here. We'll go down the list. So this one is the wide arc phase dual heavy cannons. We have that here in our inventory and we're using this. Actually, we're going to do this quickly here, Captains. We're going to take out the top portion of the bridge just so that you can see, because I know sometimes it shows it there, so we'll take that off when it goes there. So here you go. Wide arc phase dual heavy cannons. This is from the 22nd century. Of course, as you can see, it is mark 15, crit DM damage times 3. Okay, we've re-rolled it. This is from the Enterprise series. I love this weapon. So I can see here, wide arc phase dual heavy cannons, energy damage, 90-degree targeting arc, plus 10 crit severity to target, 962.7 phaser damage. Of course, this stats change in space, but as you can see, there's some, of course, my traits are affecting this, but it's part of a 3-piece set. One of which is, of course, the wide arc phase dual heavy cannons. The other one is Spatial Torpedo Launcher. The other is the Console Universal Reinforced Weapon Assembly. Now, when you right-click on the item and go more details, it'll show you what item. Again, I bought this no hesitation because, one, I love phaser builds and this looks really good, but also put this on all my builds, and of course it does represent Enterprise. So here again is the stats, but we'll go over the set. So set 2, any 2 of those 3 items, target self, 2-minute recharge, enable careless overload firing mode for phase cannons and spatial torpedo for 10 seconds. So AOE, area of effect, firing mode with increased damage. Upon firing, mode expiration, phase cannons and spatial torpedoes, of course, is offline for 10 seconds. Now the 3-piece set is 100 plus 100% recharge speed for careless overload. Remove expiration penalty from careless overload. So I put this on one of my characters that has the NX. It's great for my immersion. I love the actual visual effects of it, and it does really do good on cannon scatter volley builds, in my opinion. So there is that. The next one, of course, in that set, of course, is the Spatial Torpedo Launcher, which we have right here. Again, there it is. Kinetic damage, 2000. Again, this will change depending on what you have boosting kinetic damage, but deals 20% bonus damage on hits. Targets nearest shield facing down. Again, is part of that set. And the third piece of that set is a Console Reinforced Weapon Assembly. There it is, a 15.3 power transfer rate, plus 5 maximum weapon power. Drain energy weapon buff from drains. When activating bridge officer abilities, that drain shields or drain energy applied to self, minus 40% weapon power cost for 10 seconds, does not attack, stack, or refresh. So those 3 items right off the bat, if you want to make your NX look and feel more canon, 100% recommend that. Next up, of course, is the Bowlink Sentry Coordination Matrix, the Omnidirectional Bowlink Sentry Antiproton Beam, and of course here, if you want to have the 3-piece, the Antiproton Kinetic Torpedo. Now, this is good for tank builds. We're not going to go over in detail that because most of you captains already know, but I do recommend this, especially for tanks. Why not, at the very least, that Omni Beam right there, because that will definitely help putting that in the aft weapon slots, especially when you are a tank. This does help out there, but you can see there why the bow refraction, each shot changes to an additional target of 5% of attack damage. So of course, when you go FAW mode on your tank, this is going to help spread the damage out more targets there, and of course that means the attention is on you and not your teammates. And you're more than welcome to add the others here, but the console here, plus 23.3 anti-proton damage, plus 2.6 hull capacity, helping the tanks, move an incoming control effect, and makes you immune to control for 5 seconds. Of course, part of the set. And of course, you got the torpedo there as well, and it also helps with the bow refraction. So we recommend that. I have this on my tank character, but there you go. We recommend that as well. Next up, the Ultimate Universal Modified Swarm Processor. Auto deploy an ultimate drone to assist for 30 seconds, not why we're recommending it, but the passive on this, plus 2.6 crit chance and plus 23 point AC rating. Now we have it here, of course, and as you can see there, we have actually 2-piece, but we're going to go over this For more details, and for us it's 3.9 because we've actually epicked this bad boy. So this is for plasma weapons, and of course, as of late, Captains, you know, plasma is probably one of the top damage dealers now in STO. So this is something you can use for that. Even the console alone gives a base of crit chance, so that's always nothing to sneeze at there. So, but here, plasma saturation bombardment on the 2-piece set, which of course includes the plasma beam array, either the Kelvin torpedo launcher or this console right here. So on crit or miss, fire a bolt at target dealing 5.4 plasma damage. And as you can see, there's skills that affect this ability, all that there. And the 3-piece Starfleet Adamant Hybrid Arms target self, so 100% firing cycle haste for weapons for 12 seconds, which is nothing to sneeze at. So the 3-piece gives you that 100% fire cycle haste, I should say, excuse me, for your weapons. So this boosts plasma, and this gives you firing haste, one of the sources of that, which is, of course, the faster you fire, the more DPS you do. So there is that. Next, we'll scroll down here. We're going to recommend these two items here, the dual overcharge Delphic Antiproton Beam Bank and the Delphic Distortion Torpedo Launcher. Now, the Beam Bank we have right here. So dual overcharge Delphic Antiproton Beam, we've of course epic this out. Energy damage to target 874 antiproton damage. It does that. Of course, I have all my traits helping that ability there, but again, this is part of the 3-piece. Now we don't have the one there, but we've used this beam bank and torpedo launcher. Now when you go here to more details, okay, the 2-piece 1% crit chance and 10.1% critical severity. Now we use this on our torpedo builds here, and it was great, especially when a couple months back we were wanting to increase our damage there in our torpedo builds when we're not trying to be cannon there and trying to boost our performance. Definitely paired the beam bank with a torpedo, because of course going to the torpedo, the Delphic one, that is still part, I believe, of the meta and can still be a really good source of damage in your torp boat. Now the 3-piece gives a Delphic capacitor overload, gives Delphic disruption torpedo high yield 1 in addition to its other effects if you wanted to use that, but we don't have that. But it is here, we can kind of look at it here, but the torpedo itself, we have this on our torp boats, as I mentioned, and I love that torpedo. It does look kind of pretty there. But here is the console, which we don't have, but here, what does it do? It gives 13.1% exotic damage plus 19.7 Starship Impulse expertise, which is okay, but it also gives that Starship hull penetration at base level of 19.7, and again is part of this. So I just use a 2-piece for my torp boats, and that's why I'll just highly recommend these two here. Of course, you can see the prices here on the right side. So next up here, I'm gonna go to this console, the Bio-Neural Infusion circuits. Now, of course, we have this on most of all of our builds. Why? Base-wise, it gives you 17.2 Starship hull capacity, which is great. But look at that base, 17.5 crit severity. That's nothing to sneeze at. Really nothing to sneeze at all. Now, this also does have a set here, as you can see, the heavy crescent wave cannon, allows you some space torpedo launcher, and of course this, we only go get this, but because you can see here that is part of the set there, but we like this for the flat out crit severity. Now we'll show this on our build here. Don't have it on this particular one, but we'll actually throw it in space. Actually, it's in space, so my apologies, but yeah, we have this one. It's great. You just put this on anything and you have a flat out crit severity, and it helps your performance right off the bat. Of course, if you're not going for anything sort of immersion wise and just boosting performance, great one to have. But next up, the Tachio Kinetic converter. This one's pretty good too. I used to use this when I first started, when I sort of conjunction and pairing up with the binaural infusion circuits. Why? Because base wise, it's 17.2 starship control expertise, but it was more the 26.2 flight turn rate, the 0.88 critical chance, and the 8.8% critical severity. So not only did you get the flight turn rate, but you also got a boost to your crit chance and crit severity. Of course, this goes up with the stats, right, when you epic and Mark 15 it out. So we have it here. As you can see, that actually goes up to 39.4% flight turn rate, 1.3 crit chance, and 13.1 crit severity. Again, nothing to really sneeze at. So there is that. Next up, lastly here from the Space Gear tabs, just for fun. I actually just got this just for fun, and why not? We had enough Lobi, we bought this like years ago, but it's called the Universal Rule 62 Multi-Purpose Combat Console. Why do we get it? Well, we didn't get it for the power rate transfer, we didn't get it for the drain expertise, but we got it for the 13.1 mine and torpedo damage we used in our early days when we didn't have a lot of the things that we have now boosting our torpedoes in terms of damage. But we have it here, yeah, and we definitely did boost that bad boy up to 15. It goes up to 19.7 mine and torpedo damage. Probably goes up more in space, but we have it here. Now, there is a set piece with this, which is the rapid fire missile launcher and the concentrated tachyon mine launcher, which of course is also in the Lobi store. We go here to more details. You'll see what that gives you if it's something you can use. So reduces EC prices for 20% at sector space vendors. And of course, the 3 pieces plus 10% commendation XP bonus. For us, we just got it for the console for that as a filler while we were trying to acquire more sort of performing consoles for our mine and torpedo, most of our torpedo builds. Now, the rapid fire missile launcher, I had an idea for a build on this. It's here. You can also have the Kantari missile launchers, which you can get from an episode, from one of the Stowe episodes there. It looks pretty cool. It looks like the spatial torpedoes from the first weapon we were recommending up here. It actually fires out in like squiggly lines, spatial torpedo, but it's okay if you were going for an immersion build. If you're going for performance, I wouldn't recommend it, but it's there for you if you have enough Lobi sitting around. But yes, definitely if you want to boost some of your mine and torpedo damage, well, there you go. So next up is the ground gear. I already have it all lined up here. We'll kind of show it off, see what they do, but we're just gonna go top to bottom here. Now, the first one up that we're gonna show is this, the portable phaser cannon special issue. Now this bad boy we have, and we're gonna just put this on here on our character. This has been my main weapon here for since, and of course this weapon was featured in lower decks, as it's called the Sha Cannon. This thing is so cool and it hits pretty hard. And you can see it's an underslung weapon. Again, it just looks really cool. We'll kind of just show it off quickly here, but this is what it does visually. In terms of attacks, its primary attack is that, and then it charges like that and gives another beam attack, which is a bunch of heavy beam attacks. So it's really cool. I like it. I like the look of it. Of course, it's phaser. It really goes well with my Federation characters, in my opinion. And as you can see, that's how it looks there. We'll open up the Lobi store again. Ground gear, so there's that. The next items we've kind of loaded up right here beside them. Now we're gonna go with this. The BATD Extractor. Now this is a cool weapon. Of course, this is for you captains who want to have a character looking like a Borg character. This actually does look pretty cool. We'll load that up here. And now we have that. Now look at that. That looks pretty cool. Now, of course, it helps with my character because it's already all Borgified right there. But I thought it's really cool. Again, just to show off quickly what it does in terms of its damage or how it looks like. We're gonna aim here. Kind of just has a nice little green plasma bolt there. So as a secondary weapon, of course, is a bolt setting, and the second is a plasma damage knockback bolt setting again. So, but I got it purely on looks. Not gonna lie, just got it for that, and I think it looks really cool, especially matches my existing costume right now. So there's that. Next up, we're gonna go with the Borg exoskeleton frame. Now, we don't have this on our tune right now because we opted to just put this costume in. So for that, we're gonna actually go to off the bridge here and show that off here, just so you know what it looks like. And it's pretty cool. We'll put this back quickly. Then we'll go off, put that on screen. There you go. It is just that classic, that iconic Borg look there. You get all those pieces. We actually did have this costume, but I said we change it with the costume you see now that our main has. And of course, it looks pretty good. Then you add that arm weapon there from the Lobi store. It just looks even better. Of course, we include that in our thumbnail too as well. So there is that. 100% recommend that, especially if you're going for the Borg look. That really helps 100%. Now we got this Jayla staff. This was from, I believe, one of the KT movies there when we had this as a melee weapon, but you open it up here. Jayla's staff bolt setting and then a sniper shot. So it's pretty cool, actually. You can see that that's how it looks. We'll go against these guys. Sniper. Bam. So nothing pretty cool. So it does. I thought it had a melee here. Pretty sure it had a melee attack. Didn't go on my bar there. So staff technique. So it does have. So here's the melee strike. We'll show you that, captains, because this also doubles up as a cool looking. Bam. It has some cool staff moves there. The melee. Bam. Bam. I've always found ground combat clunky here, as you can see, but it does its thing, and it's, you can snipe them and then finish them off with that, and of course it looks that cool too as well, like a running ninja there. So there's that Jayla's staff. I thought it was pretty cool, so that's why we got it. Store again here. So that's Jayla's staff. The next one here is the Emperor's sword. I think this is cool too. This is a Terran universe weapon. Show it off here. There, it looks pretty cool. Has some nice details on it too. It actually reminds me of He-Man's sword. Comment below if you know of He-Man and if you watched it when you were a cadet. I did, here and there, but as you can see, that's what it looks like. And it has actually the melee attacks, but it also has this, the Terran Assault Squad. So what does it do? Target self, beam and Terran Assault Squad to assist you in combat for 20 seconds. So let's call them in. 2 officers come up, and yeah, they kind of help you out. Bam. So it looks pretty cool. Has, I think, your standard sword animation. Of course, then you have your 2 helping you out here, firing energy weapons while you slash and hack your enemies. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. I have it because, yeah, immersion purposes, because why not? It's a cool looking weapon. So there's that. Next up after that, and of course we're gonna go over here, is the Boolean heavy assault cannon. When I make those update news videos and it has Lobi sales, this is one of the top recommendations, because this is definitely from, I believe, the first KT movie. And we call this the Cannon. Look at that, it's another underslung weapon, but this thing hits like a truck. I love the look of this weapon. I think this was a weapon that was mounted on a bird of prey, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, captains, of course, in the description, but that looks just really cool in my opinion. Mounted on a plane or not, it just looks good. But this is how it looks. That's a secondary fire right now, right there. As you can see, that's a primary. And once, of course, the cooldown of the secondary is up, you get this cool animation of it just piercing through more than, there you go, more than one enemy. If you have them lined up, that's what's going to happen. And again, of the two, I'd say the underslung weapons, the Sha Cannon, this one, I prefer, of course, the Sha Cannon, but this one just looks pretty cool too, in my opinion. So there's that. Next up, after that Biion, we're going to show off this one. I kind of bought this just because it's the Fluidic Antiproton wrist lance. It was okay. It kind of reminds me of a Mega Man-esque sort of weapon there. Wish I could turn the colors there, but that's kind of how it looks like there. Just kind of a nice little hand-mounted weapon, and this is how it looks like when you use it. And that is the actual secondary right there. So as you can see, it's an AoE effect attack. That's why I got it, and I had enough Lobi. I think I got it on a couple of characters, so it's pretty good, in my opinion. Get some more Borg here going on. Bam. Again, you see that effect there. I thought it was pretty cool. That's why I put it there. Not really that much you can do with Undine's sort of immersion weapons. You really can't be an Undine here in this game other than a hologram, but there's that. I thought it was pretty cool at the time, so I got that. So there's that. Again, just all for fun, nothing really crazy. And when it comes to the first Lobi weapon we got, and the last recommendation of this part here, is the Voth Antiproton Shock Trooper Cannon. Now, when you're in the Voth zone, especially the artillery part, I think this is what is those turrets that are there, and I think all they did was turn this into what you see there, which is another underslung weapon. But this was pretty cool. The first time I got this, I love this. It did a lot of good DPS there. Hope I got to remodulate here. Let's do that quickly here against Borg, and then we'll take him out. I love the secondary fire right here. That's what I love for. I used this for a good long time before the Biion or the Sha Cannon, of course, came out. And I thought it does really good there, of course, in the Voth, and one of the first Lobi weapons I got. So there is that. That is the recommendations from the ground here. Now the costumes, captains, I'm going to leave this up to you, but if you want to look at them, all you got to do is go hover over them and right click it. Then you can see there what the uniforms look like. I have kind of yet to really buy uniform, really. But you can see there, again, this is from, of course, comes from movies, TV shows. You can get that there. Of course, this is from Discovery, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But I do love these ones, the Wrath of Khan. Now, you used to be able to buy this from the Dilithium store, if I'm not mistaken, but they moved it here to the Lobi store. Of course, everything Wrath of Khan. There's the winter jacket, which we like. That's not the one. The Wrath of Khan Engineer's vest. And the Captain's vest, of course. So there's that. I do like the look of that, but I've never bought it, nor do I have the inkling to. Survival suit, that's of course from the KT movies. But we're gonna leave this up to you, captains. And yes, let me just put this out there. Captains, you know we have a good friend, Nick. You know him, he loves his, what I call his one-piece suit. This is it. This is of course from this TOS, the Zambian outfit. If you wanna join the one-piece army of Nick, this is it. Not my favorite. It just reminds me of a baby suit there, but there you go. There's that. For fun, if you wanted to, there's of course Terran Odyssey uniforms there and whatever else your heart desires from this. Again, not really something that I've bought a lot of things from, but you can go through this. There, in terms of pricing, is kind of all over the place here. From 200, you got some 50s. The 50s, of course, the badge there. Got some 150s, some 30s here. You got some earrings, so you can go here and go with, of course, what you want to deck out your male or female captain or alien captain. Doesn't matter. That is up to you. For vanity pets, they don't. There's some things here you like. There's of course the Melanoid. Of course, that is from Star Trek Prodigy. You got the Dot 23. That's from Discovery. You get some pit bulls here. I've gotten the pets I've gotten just through the years of getting them as either event rewards or such like that. You can get the Beagle, of course, that's of course from Enterprise. So here's the cats for you cat lovers out there, caps, hatchling, Horda hatchling, but you can get that here. Now there's some space stuff here, but they're non-combat pets. You can get that here as well. So I'm gonna leave that up to you, captains, to peruse and go over that. Device-wise, really, I don't have anything to recommend here, personally, other than one item. Where'd it go? It is usually here. Is it not? The gambling device. So we actually have that here. So what this is a game, a little mini game. Now we'll show off the animation, but when you win, good luck for 1 hour. You get plus 10 crit chance, plus 10% critical severity, and plus 15 dodge. You lose, it's only for 1 minute though. You get minus 10% crit chance, minus 10% crit severity, and minus 15% dodge. Now again, we have this here. It looks pretty cool in my opinion. All you do is hit it. Your little animation there. When your character does that animation and you hear that little sound, you get that buff of the 1 hour. It does have a cooldown of about 20-25 seconds, I believe. Now we're gonna try to get the bad one, the lose one, the bad luck for 1 minute. But it's good for a little ground boost, especially for captains who love doing their ground pew-pews. Hit it again, see if we get the lose. Maybe. Oh, we got the win. But yeah, the lose is you kind of bow your head down and you get, again, you have to wait for kind of 1 minute. But you can keep hitting it, of course, if you want. There, and again, just deal with the cooldown. So, captains, that is going to be my recommendations for the Lobi items. Again, one of my favorite ones here as of late, of course, because of Star Trek Lower Decks is this, but also all those items that we went over, again, you can get it from the Lobi store, and I love how that this year's event prize includes everything. The premium ship, the tier 6 ship coupons, and of course the Lobi items. So again, this is going to be one of 2 videos of our recommendations. This one being, of course, of what we just went through, and the other one is going to be the ships. Now, this probably be the first video that we release, and then, of course, the ships. So look out for either one of those when either one releases. But yeah, captains, let me know in the comments below, what items do you recommend that you swear by? And of course, as I mentioned, wait for a sale, captains, because of course those are going to be cheaper, and then you can, of course, stretch out your Lobi even further and get more items for your character. But also know that the Lobi items that you get are per character purchase. Now, the Lobi that you get, you can transfer freely in your account, bank, but the items themselves, you can only get per captain. So that's why we say wait for sale. If there's a certain item here, like I said, the Sha Cannon, you can not only get for one captain, but for multiple captains if you so choose. So again, that's the video, captains. Hopefully you enjoy anything that you have gotten from the Lobi store. You've enjoyed either the videos that we do our recommendations. Mostly, this one's mostly for cosmetics, mostly because we just want them, or representing certain things like, of course, the Enterprise, lower decks. But it's always a bonus if these items that we get there perform more. But of course, that's up to you. So captains, do us a huge favor, hit the like button, and of course subscribe here to the YouTube channel. Look out again for the 2 videos, and there'll be more videos. The next video after these 2 will be our recommendations for the tier 6 ship coupon, so look out for that. Then of course we're gonna leave the premium for last. As of this video, I've already gotten all the prizes. My PS4 account has not gotten it yet, so this should be still within that period of time, but there are some captains who are done, and that's okay. But I've done this because a lot of captains just don't know what to get, so we're gonna throw in our 2 ECs there. So again, captains, thank you so much for checking out these videos. Look out for future ones, and we'll leave it on this note.
Live long and prosper.